No, but something else happened that night as well.
Yeah, so it turned out that, well, not turned out. So the person that, so if you've listened to Antoinette's episode, then you'll know that I was in this like kind of grooming relationship with this older guy, and that was actually his ex that was at the party and started all that shit with me. And so whenever I like went back in, like, he came around, he basically heard that like I'd gotten in this fight and with her, and we went into one of the guys' rooms to have a chat, and I was sitting on the bed and just basically being like it wasn't my fault, like I was defending myself, kind of I was like, and all this and that, and he just like kind of stood there and like didn't say anything. And this was the first time, because it had been like a full like 6 months of him kind of in my ear, like you know, kind of love bombing me essentially. And he doesn't say anything while I'm explaining everything on the bed, and then he just like grabs me by the hair and like throws me across the room into the wall. And it was probably about like 2 feet away, so like he like threw me across and I hit the wall and it like dented in the wall, and then he just like walked out and left the party as well. And I just kind of like was like, what the fuck? Like,
Did you like black out in that moment? Like what?
no, I
No.
remember all of that.
Okay.
I never blacked out because I felt fear. Fear is like different than like anger. Like I didn't expect it, like, because I didn't think he was that kind of
Capable
person
of
to
doing-
yeah,
yeah.
to do something like that. It was obviously a big act he was putting on for me, and I realize that now. But I was very upset, like obviously. And then because I had just been in my first fight, like I called my mom and she was like, hell yeah, like, you know, being like, well done, baby, and stuff. And then that happened after, and I was like sitting on the steps, like, and one of the guy whose room it was, like one of the owners of the house, he came through and he like sat down with me and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, you know, kind of, yeah, I'm all right, kind of thing. And he was like, I just wanted to let you know. And he handed me over this bag, and it had like a big like chunk of my hair in it, and it was in like a plastic bag.
You can glue this back on.
Yeah, he can glue. Here's your hair. And he was like, I just want to give this to you just in case you want to take anything further, like, kind of thing. Just basically saying if I wanted to go to the police,
Yeah, like
then
press
you have
charge.
evidence of my fucking hair being pulled out by this guy dead in the wall. And like, do you know? So that was the first and only time that anyone ever made me feel like what he had done wasn't okay. Like, and people had actually, like, a lot of people had seen like what he had done to me, like loads of situations, and they were all older than me as well. And that was the only time that someone did that. So like, shout out to you for, you know who you are, for, yeah, protecting me in that way. Unfortunately, like, my young brain, because I was so used to
Violence.
yeah, to violence, like, for one thing, I thought that's like pain was love, because it was like my mom used to discipline me, so I thought, oh, like, you know, she's just trying to make me a better person by hitting me. And so like I thought I did something wrong by, like, you know, causing this drama within his life. And so that's why he did that to me, because he was mad at me, but then I had just been mad at that girl and I hit her. So it's like, what's the difference between that? Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like he's hitting me because he's mad at me when I had just done that to that girl.
Yeah.
So in my head, I
You were
feel
like justifying it.
yeah, for sure, because I was like, surely this is why. Or maybe he was drunk. I hate that thing, but that is something you think about, like, yeah, which is nuts. So that was a very stressful night. But yeah, that was my first fight story.
Alcohol does have an effect like that on people. Like one of my best friends from Russia, she called me one day and she said he hit me, and I was like, fuck. Like, you know, one of our friends, like, she was dating a guy from our friend group, and yeah, he had hit her, and it was when he was drunk. And so he would allow himself to do something like that to her, but then when he was sober, he was like buying her flowers and like saying I'm sorry and things like that, and then get drunk again and like beat her up, like literally just smash her face against the wall or something. Like, yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. I think people
But
use
I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying alcohol is an
used as an
excuse.
excuse by like abusers to like let that kind of like anger guard down, but they could always do it when they're sober.
The only thing that I definitely learned was if he hits you once, he will hit you again.
Yeah, for sure. Even if
Yeah.
it's like technically he didn't hit me, he threw me. Like
No, he
he threw me. But like, yeah, that was, I think, whenever I made the decision to continue with him, like after that, I think that's when he knew I've got her. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because it was like 6 months of manipulation. Like, do you know what I mean? Especially whenever your brain is so young. Like, yeah.
And he was older. Like, whenever teenage girls get hit on by like an older guy, it's like a cool thing.
Yeah.
But then when I look back on it, any guy that's hit on me when I
Like,
was like
ew.
younger, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, bro, find a girl your own age. And like,
Yeah,
why aren't
guilty.
you talking to a girl your own age? But it's because you can't manipulate her the way that you can manipulate someone
Yeah.
younger.
It's true
It's
though.
disgusting.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. So that was my first fight.
That's pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like, all this stuff that's happened to me, that's happened to us. Like, yeah, it's made me who I am today. And
Yeah,
I'm
it
so
shapes us.
grateful. Like, yeah, I'm so grateful for who I am and that I'm able to, like, now, like, I've had this, like, experience with him, but I'm able to, like, actually help people who are still in situations like that
Yeah.
now, like, who have been sending messages after seeing Antoinette's episode and being like, yeah, so I'm able to, like, share my, not, like, obviously just experience, but the education that I've had to learn about your brain and how it's affected by abuse as well. So it's been really, really good.
No, and
Very grateful.
it happens to people that you were obviously strong enough to go through it, and
Yeah.
now you're like out on the other side with a perspective, and
Yeah.
like now you're able to teach people about things that they
Yeah,
wouldn't.
and talk about it because, like,
Yeah.
there'll be people here that will understand, like, as well. Yeah, so tell me when you saw red and you was about
No,
to
I'm sorry. I just
beat
feel
up
so
a girl.
bad. That's so fucking awful.
It's okay.
It's okay. No, yeah, shit happens, I
Shit
guess.
happens, yeah.
So my story dates back to the beginning.